Hey guys, it's Kaylee from K-Books and this is my wrap-up post for the month of May. I cannot believe that it is June already. I managed to read a couple of books, quite a few books actually, in May, so I'm just going to show you them and tell you what I thought of them. So the first book I read this month was In the Age of Love and Chocolate by Gabrielle Zevin. This is the third and final book in the Birthright trilogy and I gave this one 4 stars. I loved this book. It wasn't as good as the other two for me, which is why I only got 4 and not 5 stars, but it was a great ending. It kind of happened a little too fast for my liking, so I don't know, it was just, I would have liked a little bit more to sort of help wrap it up a bit more, because it was sort of like, boom, end. And that's why it got the 4 stars, but it was a great ending to the series. I love that series, and it's definitely one that I will reread. The next book I read was an ebook, and it is The Strange Case of Finley Jane by Katie Cross. This is the prequel novella to the Steampunk Chronicles series, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad I read it because I buddy read the first one with Donna from Book Passion for Life, and she didn't like it. And I did, and I felt that I liked the first book in this series because I'd read the prequel and I'd already sort of got to grips with the characters and stuff. So I really liked that when it was 4 stars, and then I read The Girl in the Steel Corset, which is the first book. I really liked it. I think it's such a really great steampunk book. I haven't read a lot of steampunk, so to find one that I really, really liked is really cool. I'm really looking forward to finishing this series off. I think it's going to be amazing. I love that it's fantasy and it's steampunk, which is very, very awesome, so I really enjoyed that one. The next book I read was The Shadow Prince by Stacey O'Neil. I have had this on my shelf for forever. This is the prequel novella in the Mortal Enchantment series, and I finally read it and I loved it. I gave this one 4 stars. It was far too short for my liking. I love Rowan. I absolutely fell in love with him in this book, and I wanted more from his point of view, and it just ended a little bit too fast for me. The next one I read is Mortal Enchantment by Stacey O'Neil, which is the first book. This one got 5 stars. It is phenomenal. If you love elemental things and mythology things, this is the series for you. It's absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. I don't want to say too much about it because it will ruin it, but yeah, I read that one. And then the next book I read is Fragile Rain, which is the second book in the Mortal Enchantment series, and again this one got 5 stars. I completely devoured this series this month. It was absolutely stunning, and I'm so sad that the third book is not out yet because I need it. I cannot recommend this series enough. It was absolutely amazing. Amazing. I loved it. The next one I read was also an ebook, and it was Reboot by Amy Tintera. This is the first book in a duology, I believe, and I DNF'd it. I didn't like it all that much. I think that when I actually bought it and downloaded it onto my Kindle, because it's been sat there for forever, I was in the mood for that type of book, and it sounded interesting to me. But then now my reading styles have changed a whole lot since then, and I just did not enjoy it. I was bored. I wasn't really invested in the story, so I DNF'd it. And the final book I read this month was Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rash. This is the second book in the series. It's a young adult fantasy series, and it is due out in October, I think. I got an arc of this one. I gave it 4 stars. I was so excited for this book, like I couldn't wait for it because the first book was absolutely stunning and phenomenal to me. I was a little bit disappointed by Ice Like Fire. I felt like the beginning of the book was really, really good, and the end of the book was really, really good, and then the beginning was boring. I was bored throughout most of it, but because of how much I loved the first one, I kept reading. I believe this is what I call second book syndrome, which is when you have a trilogy, the second book is a bit like a stepping stone, leading up to the events that's going to happen in the third book. And that's how I feel this one was. I was a bit bored all the way through. The ending was stunning, So I absolutely cannot wait for the third and final book in this trilogy. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. So that's all I read this month. My top 3 books of the month are, number 3 is In the Age of Love and Chocolate. I just love this series. I'm sad it's over, but it was a fantastic ending to the series. Number 2, Ice Like Fire. Even though Ice Like Fire was a bit slow for me and I was a bit bored throughout it, the story and the world is still fantastic and I really enjoyed it. I sort of cheated with my number 1 and I picked 2 books, but they're in the same series, so it's fine. And it's Mortal Enchantment and Fragile Rain, because they were just stunning. It is now one of my favourite series. I can't wait for the third one. It's going to be amazing. So that's it for this month. Leave me a comment and let me know what you read. Thanks for watching. Bye!